Hi everyone, it's Marianne. Welcome to Happy Paper People. Today I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to make this double pocket waterfall. Here's how it ends up. We have just two waterfall flips up top, and we could add more, but this one little piece has a ton of places to write on for journaling, so I just stopped at two, although we could add more waterfalls. So it's got one flip up here and the second flip up here, so the inside is really nice for writing. You could embellish, decorate the outside. I left these plain just for templates. And write on the inside here. You could even write on the inside of this pocket. This is a pocket here. And then this is a pocket on the side. So if you were to mount this in a journal like this, gluing the whole back on, you'd have a pocket on the side. In fact, we use the offcuts to make some cards and tags to go in there. You'd have a pocket on the side right there, and you can embellish that however you want. And then we would have a pocket on the inside. And so we can put cards and tags there for more writing space as well. Okay, there are a couple variations. Well, there are multiple ways to do this, but I'll show you just a couple variations. Here's another one. This one is a double-sided paper, and the other side is actually light enough to write on. So you could write on here, you could write on the top of this one, and you could probably, with a black marker, black pen, you could write on the inside of that one. Now this one, you see the line of where the second piece is attached because it is not hidden and there is not a pocket on the side. This one, the pocket is on the back. So we could make a tag that could be written on to go in the back. Leave that partly up, and then we can make a tag to go on the inside, or multiple tags to go on the inside. And let me just show you a quick trick with the tags while I've got them right here. For this tag, I used this punch. If you have a punch that is like this or anything similar to this, the trick will work. Let me just find a piece of paper to stick into it. I didn't even think about that. Here we go. So you can put pieces of paper that are 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch in here for different size tags. I'm always using whatever my scrap is, my offcut from my project, and it never seems to be exactly right. This isn't 1.5, it's about 1 3/4. I do it anyway. Put it in anyway, and all I do is try to center it so it won't fit in the 1.5, so I go to the 2 slot and I just try to center it there. And if it's centered, it's going to be just fine. And then punch it, and you get that tag top right there. Now what it gives you that it cuts off is this and the little hole, which you could use both, but let me show you. I didn't put it on this one yet because I wanted to show you. So I cut that off of this one, and this is what I got, this piece right here. So then I'll take this piece and I will turn it to the opposite side and glue it right on the top here. Let's just do a quick glue down of that. And if you could tell already that it's not the exact size, don't worry about that. Okay. I might have to go back and put a little more glue, but I didn't want to get to the very edge on the outside. I do want to try to center that, make sure it's all the way up to the top, and then try to center it left to right. Okay, makes a nice little topper on that card, coordinating topper from the back. And then all I do is go with scissors or with your paper trimmer and trim off those two pieces that are hanging over the edge just a little bit, and there it fits perfectly. So that is a real nice and easy hack for using that offcut and getting another coordinating tag. So I'm going to put this back in here, and I'm going to put this in here. So you can see that on my template I wrote the actual dimensions of the paper as well as the score mark, which I will put this one, keep this one as my template and put it in my idea book. So that's why I have done that. So let's get started. You will need 2 coordinating pieces of paper. And if you have a 12 by 12 and it's double-sided, then you can do it with 1 piece of paper. I cut these out of an 8.5 by 11. And so I got both of these pieces out of 8.5 by 11, and then I needed a separate sheet to be able to get this one. These are single-sided. I will leave them white because it's black and white. And so that just fits just fine for that project. Let me move this out of the way here. Okay, so we're going to need 3 pieces of paper. Paper number 1 needs to be 9 3/4 by 3.5. Paper number 2 needs to be 5 by 3.5. And paper number 3 needs to be 8.5 by 3.5. Okay, and then we are going to take those and score them. And mini scoreboard works just fine. So we are going to take the 9 1/4 and we are going to score it at 3.5 inches. It's easier if you have non-directional paper, especially for the first one. And you don't have to think about what direction they're going when the flaps fold down. I hear somebody yelling at me, so let me put the lid back on, or the pin back into the glue. Thank you. Okay, number 2, we are scoring at 1 inch. You can do it with directional paper. You just really have to look at it. Which way is it going to fold? How's it going to lay? And is that okay with you? And then paper number 3, we are going to score at 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. And this works with both scrapbook paper and light cardstock. I probably wouldn't use a heavy cardstock because you've got some layers here and it just ends up being kind of bulky. But a light cardstock works just fine. I have just scrapbook paper today that I'm working with. Okay, so now we are going to start with paper number 3 and look at which end is scored. We're going to fold that end up. I mean, this is really easy, guys. Everybody can do this. This one is intended for everyone. That gives us our pocket right there. Okay, so if you don't want white, then an easy solution is to take a stencil, put the stencil over it, and then take vintage photo or whatever color ink is coordinating. If you want it aged, you know, a walnut or something like that. If you want a coordinating color, then pick something out of your pattern and very lightly do the stencil, not all the way, not, you know, a whole stencil down, just here and there a little bit. It takes the glare off of the white, but is still light enough that you can write on that. You want to be able to write on these. Okay, so I'm going to glue only the 2 sides, gluing this pocket together. So I like to put my thumb on the side that I do not want any glue, and that reminds me not to glue that side down accidentally. And I'm only going to use just a little bit, tiny bit of glue. Doesn't take much to do that. Fold it up, press it down, make sure your corners are lined up, that way your sides are lined up. Everything in alignment. Squeeze out any extra glue that happens to be right there. Okay, so that's the pocket that we start with. So now let's take piece number 1, which is the largest one. And we scored that one at 3.5. We're going to fold that down. My score's a little crooked, and before I crease that, I can take care of that. The score mark gives you a little bit of wiggle room on straightening up the line there. And then piece number 2 that we scored at 1 inch, let's go ahead and fold that one down as well. Okay, so for this one, let's make the one with the side pocket, meaning we would probably, it could be floating, but we would probably glue the whole thing down to a page, and then we would have 2 waterfalls, this pocket here, and then the side pocket right here. Okay, so in order to do this, we are going to take piece number 2, and we're going to attach it to piece number 3. It's going to be the first flap, and it's going to go over the pocket. We don't want to see the pocket. It's like a hidden pocket. So it needs to be attached back here, only on this portion. Okay, so we'll get some glue and attach just this back flap. So the attachment of this is hidden as well. Let me straighten it up a bit before it seals. May have already sealed. I didn't get down far enough on there. Well, if it isn't straight afterwards, I'll just trim it up and make it straight. So no worries. All right, so there is the first flap, this flap right here that covers the pocket, so the pocket is hidden. And now we want the second flap, and the pocket is created out of the second flap. So our short edge, the 3.5-inch edge, is going to go over the top of the piece number 2. And we want a pocket right here. So we want to be sure that we only glue this on 3 sides. The top and the bottom, and then what we will consider the back of the pocket, so we can still go in here. So this one is slightly shorter than the pocket, which is great because we don't want it to be any longer. So I will take the smaller, always take the smaller of the 2 pieces and put the glue on the smaller one so we know exactly where it needs to go. This is the side that I want open, so I will keep my thumb on this side and know that I need to glue 3 sides, just not the opening. So glue all around 3 sides. I'm not a very straight gluer, and I can't cut with scissors. I need a paper trimmer. So anybody can do this. Okay, now I'm going to line these 2 up, and I'm going to line them up by the crease, not by the bottom, but I'm going to line them up by the crease because that's where they fold, is where they go together. And then I can straighten up the bottom, but I know it doesn't come all the way to the bottom, which is intentional. But I'm straightening them up so that they're in alignment on the sides, and then just burnish it down. Looks like I probably cut one of them a little crooked, that's why it's sticking out, and that's not a big deal. You just trim that up afterwards. Okay, so this one we did on 1, 2, 3 sides, and we have a pocket right here. Okay, and I want to give that time to really dry. So burnish it down and then let it sit for a few minutes. Okay, so then I just use my offcuts to make some tags, and if they're not enough tags, you can make some more. We could make some plain black, solid black. We could make some solid white. I do have quite a bit of this page left because I only cut piece number 2 out of it. Let's see, where did the rest of my offcuts go? Thought they were right here. Oh, there they are. Okay, I've got a little bit of that one, and oh, they fell down, that's why. There's a small piece there. And remember, you can always take one and decorate the other to carry the coordinating theme throughout. So let's do this. First, I'm going to look at this pocket and decide, do I want to round the corners? Do I want to scallop the corners or ticket stub them? I feel in a scallop mood this morning. I've been scalloping everything today. So I'm going to scallop those corners, but you can do anything you want on them. I know you guys have all kinds of corner design punches. Okay, so we'll do those 2, and then, well, that one was really crooked. Have to be careful here that the glue doesn't ooze out and then glue this one on top of here, which it did a little bit. I'm going to just let that dry, and then I'll get it off with the glue eraser. There, that's a little bit straighter. All right, and then I can decide, do I want to come down here? First, I want to make sure it's dry. I don't want to glue up my punch. and I can scallop these corners as well. So if you like that look, you can scallop all four of them. I mean all three of them, and then they're all very similar. So let's see, where was the part? This is the part sticking out. I'm going to see if I can just move it over a hair and adjust that fold instead of trimming it off, because it stuck out a little here and it was a little inside there, which tells me that the fold was just off a little, or more likely the glue was a little off and one end didn't get all the way up into the crease. So there we go, that's just fine. Okay, so what might I do with tags here? I might take this and say, let's put, well, let's see. These are, it's going down the side, not the back on this one. These are quite thin because they are just scrapbook paper. So you could decide whether you wanted to back them with coffee dyed paper, if that is the case, or even make them double. So if I am going to stick something inside there, and I know I've got glue to deal with here, pencil. Easiest way to measure. I just want to make sure it goes in and out smoothly. Okay, so if I make it about that big and that big, it should go in and out just fine. I know that's not an exact measurement, and you can certainly grab your ruler and make that an exact measurement. I find for me, being able to just sit it on there and see where's it going to fit, where do I need to cut it, is very quick, and I know it's going to fit. I don't have to guess, I've just put the paper right up to it. So that should fit right in here, right nicely, yes. Okay, so I did not mean to cut that completely out there. I was going to show you how to double that up. All right, let's see what this is. This is 5 by 3. It's a 3 by 5 card. Okay, so if I take, that is not, let's see, if I want 5 high, okay, and then 3, I want 2 of them, so I'm going to make it 6, 5 by 6, okay, and then probably need that trimmer again. I'm just going to set it right down there. Where is my, where did I set the scoreboard? Right here. Try to get him out of camera, and then they're out of sight, out of mind, you know, or out of mind, out of sight. I'm going to score that right in the middle. This is 6, so I'm going to score it at 3. And I'm going to fold it. There's even more room to journal on right there. Okay, that didn't get exactly in the center, but a score mark gives us wiggle room. It gives us probably close to 1/16 of an inch to be able to press down on the score mark, or fold on the score mark on this side, that side, or right in the middle. Okay, so then let's just give it a little bit of a spine, if you will. Not really, but it's just a little decorative spine here. And let's put this around. Okay, all we will need to do is, I'm not going to cut it until I'm done so that I know it is the exact length. Even though I cut this to 5, if I cut this to 5, never fails. It's, you know, ends up not exactly 5. So this piece is 1.5. So if I want to, why do I always end up with 1.5? If I want to score that down the middle, then that is going to be 1/2 plus 1/8. Does that make sense? No, it's 1/2 plus 1/4. I apologize. 1/2 and 1/4, so that is actually 3/4. Try to find it an easy way. That I know a lot of you don't like the math, and so if I take 1 inch, half of that is 1/2 inch. If I take this 1/2 inch, half of that is 1/4 inch. So 1/2 inch plus the 1/4 inch is 3/4 of an inch. That's how I come to that and I'm holding it not super tight against the edge because it's not exactly on 1.5. And if it ends up not exactly down the middle, no worries, that can always be trimmed up as well. And paper, it's paper, people. Can always be trimmed up. Paper makes us happy, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to fold that. I didn't even score it all the way down because I know it's only going to go 5 inches. And that's close enough. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit farther on the back. So it's going to fit just like that. And that'll make just a nice little double journal card there that'll open up, and it gives it a little more stability for pulling it in and out. Oh, let's put it on the right side so that it actually does open, shall we? Okay, so let's get some glue. I'm going to put my finger about where the bottom of that is, my thumb, so I don't go past that. But I want to put the glue on this piece because it is the smaller piece, and I wouldn't know how far out into the card to go if I was putting it onto the card. So I'm going to put some down the middle, kind of come around the edge, but I'm not going to get super close to the edge because I don't want it oozing out all over the place. You can, the nice thing about this art glitter glue point, the tip there, is that you can squeeze more out, or you can actually squeeze it very lightly and get just a teeny tiny bit out. So when you get up there to the edge, you don't even have to have as big of a bead. Okay, and then this can be cut with scissors or with your paper trimmer. Either way. Probably better. Whoops, I forgot to get all the stickies off of those scissors from last night's tutorial, which is making the journal, making a journal start to finish, part 3. That will be up very shortly. Sometimes it's easier to open it up because you actually see your line of where you should be cutting, and I'm always hesitant to go too deep because I might be cutting into the card and not see it. Yeah, I'm much better with a paper trimmer. I would be smart to use a paper trimmer all the time. Okay, so you could do a cute little decoration on here. You could cut out a little label type punch or like a book plate type thing and put it right there if you wanted to. And this can go right in this side pocket. There we go. I'll leave it out so we remember it's there. And then we have here in this pocket, we can make several different things. We can do, that is probably a little too wide to get in there. Not too bad, but let's take this. This punch is just for, I'm just trying to hurry now to get something quick and easy so we don't go on very long with the tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and put this paper into this punch. See how close to the edge I can get so I can utilize all the paper and just punch that out. So that still leaves me plenty of room to do additional punches. Okay, and that's pretty small, so it'd be nice to have something that's a little bit larger, and it might even be able to, let's see, is that wider? It is slightly wider than that. Let's just play with this a minute. Don't hesitate to play with your paper and just try new ideas. This is kind of small, and it's harder to get this in here. The tag is kind of small, and I don't want it to get lost in the space. So where's my pencil? Sometimes a pencil eraser can help you move it just right so that you can get a tag out of a very little piece of paper. I like utilizing all of that, but you could take a couple of these and we'll put that on the outside, and we could take a little strip of this that is, oh, say about that wide. I'm just going to bend that on my fingernail so I know where that mark is. I'm going to grab the paper trimmer because that's 1.5 inches, and I know I'm not going to cut 1.5 inches straight. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut me a little tiny strip here. of the coordinating black and white instead of white and black. And then I'm going to bend it over the top. Let's see, I'd like to bend it in the middle. So if I just line up these two ends, don't really need to score that, it's really small. And then all I'm going to do is glue that right there. And it gives that tag more stability because it is just scrapbook paper, and once it's glued I can open it and journal on both. It's a very small space, so if you wanted more journaling you can just continue from one to the other, or you can make them two separate entries. So it kind of serves multiple purposes. But let's just get that glued on there. So I'm putting glue again on the smaller of the two pieces that I'm putting together. And I'm going to keep these together. That seems like the easiest way to do that. And I'm just going to center them on that little top flat spot there. Oops, let me try to keep those tags together. There we go. I mean, you could even punch a hole through those if you wanted to and put a string on it. But there you go. There's a, you know, you can punch it out and leave them together like that, but it's kind of cute with the hinge because it does make it coordinate. So that's a small one that can go in there, and then I might want to make large ones. So I'll probably go grab some larger paper, either another 8.5 by 11 of each, and make some larger tags. I could get another one in here and could put several in the inside pocket. There's just there's a lot of room in these, so by the time you get it finished you've got so many journaling spots, multiple tickets in here and multiple pieces in here, and you can really have a lot of journal spots on this. So that's just a fun little double pocket waterfall. Hope that works out for one of your projects, and if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. That lets me know that you do like the tutorials, that they are worth continuing to make, because they are time consuming, and so I only want to make them if they're a benefit to people. So join us over on Happy Paper People Facebook group. It is a private group. Just answer the questions and you'll be right in. We have so much fun there. We embrace artists of all types. It is the friendliest group you'll ever meet. Very motivating, uplifting, inspiring, and supportive. And we have some people that do amazing things. So we love to see everybody's photos and get inspired by everything to try new projects. We do a Thursday mass make every Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and that's where we made these double pocket waterfalls. We also do a Monday Jumpstart every Monday at noon Mountain Time. And then on the 2nd and 4th Saturdays of the month, we do Saturday Night Live Laugh and Craft. That's a lot of fun. We do some different things there. So join us at any or all of those. They're right here on Happy Paper People YouTube channel. We look forward to meeting you, getting to know you, and welcoming you in to Happy Paper People. Thanks so much. Until our next tutorial, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.